Guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. Adil, hello, long time again. How are you?
Yeah, you're making this a habit, these big gaps.
Yeah, I don't know about me making a habit, but yeah. Let's not get into that, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of the Premier League and the transfers that's happened so far, and we'll also discuss potential incomings into the Premier League clubs and what the rumors we're hearing out there at the moment. But let's firstly start off with the busiest club of the day, Chelsea, confirming the signing of Raheem Sterling. What did you make of that?
Really good signing for them. I think it's exactly what Chelsea needed. I mean, it's been a slow start for the Bowley Group, and it just seemed like they're struggling to get deals over the line, like United.
Like they've been linked with every big name out there.
Yeah, and you could tell they wanted to make statement signings, and Sterling definitely fits the bill. I think he fits the system. I think he'll enjoy having a bit more of a 10-stroke central role, and an excellent signing. I just think proven player, and the thing is he's quite young still. What is he, 28 or something?
27 or
27. So yeah, I mean, it just seems like he's been around forever. And I'm surprised by his age. They're literally still getting him in the prime of his career. And yeah, I mean, Pep's system is quite restricting. So I think we're going to see a lot more from him. I'm surprised City let him go to City, not because of if it happened the year before I could understand, but last year it's the first time he got comfortable playing on the right hand side. And one of the issues with Sterling was he's either plays on the left or as up front, but he wasn't very effective as a right-sided player. And then last year, it's like he had that breakthrough with England and with City, where he started to learn how to play on the right-hand side of the attack, and that just made him more valuable to the team. I think probably gave him more minutes than he might have expected otherwise, and just surprised he chose to still move on. And I'm not sure whether that's the right policy or not from Pep in terms of the way he's just putting it out there that if players don't want to stay, they can move on. And players want you to fight for them. Players want you to convince them. Players want you to make them still feel like they're needed and wanted and a big part of the plan. So, if they lose,
I think there needs to be a balance
as well.
There needs to be a balance between both.
Yeah, but I just think, it's risky. It's risky because you can't automatically assume Jack Grealish is going to play better than last year. And he started to deceive last year. And even though he's got immense potential, I mean, that the pace that Sterling had, you've lost Gabriel Jesus, and then Sterling. They're losing pace in that team. Right? You've got Haaland, but
potentially Alvarez probably play one of those top 4 positions. So
yeah, still, it's a big statement from Chelsea, and definitely, I'm sure they're getting a good player, good price, good age.
What did you make of Tuchel's comment? I think he made a comment around it will bring the best out of Havertz. Do you think is that one of the main factors behind as well to bring him into the game more?
Yeah, well, Sterling offers the out wide. Obviously, everyone else they had was players who wanted the ball to feet, want to create. So I think it's not only good news for Havertz, it's good news for Mount too, because now you got a player who's more looking to run in behind, looking to score goals, looking to get in the box. So that will allow the playmakers of the team more space because the threat that Sterling has. And one of the reasons why it didn't work with Lukaku is because there's too many people fighting for that same space in the central zone where they're looking to pick up the ball to feet. But Sterling isn't really bothered about picking the ball to feet. He's more about scoring goals, getting on the end of stuff.
Well, one more thing I noticed, there's something I saw online somewhere is his stats around where he's scoring his goals nowadays. And if you see how it's evolved from the last couple of years, he's now, well, when he first started, he was scoring from pretty much and shooting from everywhere. The last 2 years, it seems like it's more focused down, like the more center of the goals, and he's getting into there. So, I mean, like you said, it's that perfect fit of him just arriving at the right spot for Havertz, Mount, etc. to feed him into.
Yeah, I mean, his movement's always been good. Under Pep, his understanding has got better. And
it's just whether how many he converts, isn't it? Because
but obviously, Chelsea are quite similar in the sense that they do create really good chances. And I can't imagine his finishing being any worse than Werner's. So
yeah,
he should put some of them away. And I just think it spells bad news for Werner. I can't see Werner staying because Sterling is now going to fill the position that Werner was given to Werner, which was to stretch the play, running behind, make things happen. So I won't be surprised if Werner
he'll still probably be the backup to Sterling, maybe, because obviously they got rid of Lukaku as well. I don't see them personally getting rid of both of them. I think they still need obviously squad players, and obviously
I'm not sure. I don't think
there's rumors.
I don't think Werner
as well.
I don't think Werner would be willing to risk his place in the
World Cup
squad and things like that. So I think there's a market for him.
It's an interesting one to look into, isn't it? Throughout the transfer window as it grows, isn't it? See what happens with Werner.
It just seems that all the Premiership teams are buying, and they're not really focused on selling.
Well, do you know that's the thing, because the five subs things come in as well, so you can see why people are having larger squads and going to buy a lot of players, because obviously that's going to play a massive role, anyways. 5 subs, especially for the big team. The other transfer, we're hearing that he's due for medical, I think, on Tuesday coming up. Koulibaly, linked with Man United for so long, or every other Premier League team for the last God knows how long, but 31 seems like it's going to get completed for Chelsea. What do you make of that? It's a big statement.
34 mil for a 31-year-old is a lot. He's a quality defender, experienced. Hasn't won too much at Napoli, but
he just won the African Cup of Nations.
So it's always, you always have a bit of a worry with the Italian team. You know they know how to defend, and they know how to defend deep, but Chelsea do play a high line. That's going to be interesting to see how comfortable Koulibaly is playing so high. And I don't know, I just think even though they're getting a good defender who's a beast, fast, he's got all the attributes you want in a defender. 34 mil for 31-year-old. You just think, like, let's just say they offered Rudiger £100,000 more per week.
I see what
that's costing you a lot less than 34 mil. So, and a younger age, and at the prime of his career, was probably one of the most informed defenders at the time, and he really wanted to stay. So, sometimes you just think, we can't understand the maths of how Chelsea were planning this out or playing this out. But
surely Chelsea fans will be excited. That's 2 big signings coming in, obviously, with the new owner. Surely something to be excited about.
Definitely, it's the type of signings you want, in the sense that it tells you they're going for titles, and they're going for the big trophies right now. They're not planning, they're not building. They're getting ready-made stars, experienced, and it just shows they're not trying to do some long-term building up towards and buying young promising talent. They're buying the real deal.
Yeah,
people kind of can have a security about the level of performance that they're going to give it week in, week out.
What do you make of the links with Nathan Ake? Is it just to replace that left centre back position? Is that what it seems like? Because I know they've been with Koundé throughout, I mean, last year, this year, but again, it seems like he's falling through again. Or he's
I think Sevilla's just become really difficult to negotiate with. And this thing is, Spain is pricing itself out, because if you've noticed, there's not been many deals with Spanish clubs, and the thing is, it's what it's meant is more players are coming more from. Even Italy's pricing itself out. This is one of the few deals that, and again, it's overpriced. I mean, paying 34 mil for a 31-year-old, I think it was in the last year of his contract as well, so wasn't the smartest business. But those Italian clubs and the Spanish clubs are running the risk of losing British money by being too greedy, because at the end of the day, everyone's just spending the money in these lower leagues, like, you know, Austrian league and French league and German league.
German, isn't it?
Yeah. So then what's going to happen is these other clubs are just going to have money to spend and compete for players that normally the Spanish clubs and the Italian, and you can tell there's no money around. They're all relying on big sales to Premier League clubs to even fund their own transfer dealings. So I just think, yeah, some of these clubs are being a bit too greedy.
Not everyone's Barcelona loan and still sign, like going.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how they service those loans in the long term, because you're just killing. You know, it's not like Barcelona has the, you know, they sold off most of their media rights for the X amount of years. It's not like the case with United where, you know, they're making over 100 mil just to all the other revenues, merchandising and sponsorship. You know, you know, Barcelona are still heavily dependent on TV rights.